Markets are under pressure from corruption headlines and new U.S. tariffs, and they're watching out for opportunity in the government's privatization drive. Now, what does this mean for business owners, employers, and jobs? We're joined by Sergio Ortiz-Luis, the president of the Employers Confederation of the Philippines. He's also the president of PhilExport. Good morning, sir, and thank you for being here with us.
Good morning, Mikey, and good morning to all our watchers and listeners.
Good to have you this Tuesday morning, sir. We've got two huge headlines. There's the corruption locally, and then there's also the impact of the 19% U.S. tariffs. Of these headwinds, sir, which would you say is the one that is most worrisome for employers?
Well, of course, it's the corruption and the confidence that is lost for both local and foreign investors, for the tourists, and for our exports in particular.
Yeah, corruption hits us on multiple fronts, sir. It destroys investor confidence locally, and it deters foreign investments. Have you felt investors shying away from the Philippines in light of all of these headlines?
Well, before, we were ahead in investment. Now, what we are saying is we are kulelat in our ASEAN, no? With the list, with the last place that they choose, no? Because of all this news. Initially, when we go with the president for foreign trips or investment, not only in this administration, in the past administration, one of the first things they say is the policy changes and the red tape is too much. But fortunately, we have ARTA now, which is correcting this. And I think that is known even by foreign investors. Unfortunately, here comes the corruption issues. And this is the one that is really has been destroying the confidence of investors. And so if you're choosing between, and that's why we're kulelat, no? Choosing between Thailand, Malaysia, even Cambodia now, Philippines will be the last choice. We are bringing in investment with the effort of the administration, the president, but compared to the others, very small.
It's hard to stomach because the tariffs, they're external forces. We can't do anything about that. But the corruption, that's an internally inflicted wound. So it's very mas masakit, sir. The president has flagged billions lost to corruption, lots to ghost projects, sir. Are you shocked by the level and the magnitude, the depth of corruption, sir?
Well, before we hear corruption, we know there is corruption. We talk to people and there is corruption, but we're shocked at the level of the corruption. We thought we were talking about hundreds, a few hundreds of millions, but we're talking of billions. And that is really shocking. And what is shocking is it's concentrated in many, well, public works, for instance, so much corruption in that area.
It's infrastructure spending, because these are the big ticket items. And what hurts is, yun yung reklamo ng foreign investors sa Pilipinas, sir. Wala tayong infrastructure. That's what they lament when we speak to foreign investors. What have you experienced, sir, when you speak to foreign investors? Well, what do they want from the Philippines?
Well, we always say that there are projects in the pipeline, but mostly delayed now, and some of them are even ghosts.
Yeah. How do you feel, sir? I mean, you ask for budget from the government, budget to, ask for the DTI, for budget for our trade fairs, to promote the Philippines, for product development, for research, for marketing. And they say there is no budget. You have no budget, whereas, you see where it's being spent. How do you feel?
There are two areas which we feel should be funded. It should be looked at by the government as an investment rather than just an expense. And this is the area of export development and the SME. In both areas, we are pathetically behind all our neighbors. And it's no surprise, for instance, that our competitiveness has been eroded over time. And, the budget of DTI is so small, together with the two other agencies, the OST and the ICT, you put them together, they're not even compared to one project, for instance, that I noticed, CCT before. In 2019, I saw the numbers, 87 billion. No? 15 billion of that is devoted for monitoring only. No? You know, the budget of DTI at that time was hardly 10 billion. Monitoring lang yan. That's not even the project of DSWD, the budget. So now, if you look at the budget of DTI and what's the expectation of DTI, price stabilization, investment, export development, there's no fund. Whenever we ask for export development fund, for instance, they want to say, where will we get it?
And now that you see where the funds are going, sir, anong masasabi nyo?
Well, it's very difficult. Where will they get it? The answer is they would not know because it's lost. So we would like really to see serious budgeting for the first in 2020 at least. Kung pwede lang, start from nowhere, build up from there, all the departments, rather than traditional budget, just adding little every year. So naiiwanan pa rin yung what is needed. No? SME, for instance, budgeting, lip service also. We have the, I would say, the figures show that we are the most the unbudgeted, unbanked.
Yeah.
Our MSC is the most unbanked MSC in the whole of Asia. You know, just to give you an example, the last figure I saw in 2018 before the COVID, the money that went to SME is $10.8 billion in the Philippines. You know how much in Thailand? $230 billion. The nearest to us, the lowest, was Indonesia, $76 billion, tayo 10. And I understand, nabawasan pa ng 1 billion, wala na yata 10 billion yung funding ngayon sa SME. And are we surprised that, our SME has not developed? Our SME, pareho ng SME sa, in the region, mga 90% more SME, but our SME is 90% micro.
Yeah, so much to account for with infrastructure spending so that it's channeled to economically beneficial programs, sir. How are employers interpreting the new shift in the leadership of the DPWH to Secretary Vince Dizon?
Very positive. The reason is Secretary Dizon has a good track record and a change is needed. I'm not saying anything about the Secretary Baruan, but a change is needed, fresh start, so that ika nga, kwentas claras para makaumpisa ng maayos.
What would you like to see, sir? Given all the corruption issues when it comes to infrastructure spending in the country, what would you specifically like to see from Secretary Vince Dizon within his first 100 days in office?
Well, I think it's very easy to see who are the people responsible for all these ghost projects and so I think we would like to see head rollings.
Okay. Let's take that further, sir. How much head rolling do you want to see? Does ECOP want to see these people put in the blacklist? Do you want lifetime bans? What do you think is the punishment that is befitting?
Well, it's really quite obvious that some companies have been dealing in these ghost projects, and I would like them blacklisted for life. Although blacklisted, they will just come back with another name anyway. But it's good to have the blacklist. I would also like the industry association, the contractors say, to blacklist them.
Yeah.
Because they're the ones who are giving them the grades of how much they can contract for you, if they're AAA or whatever. So, and for the people in the department, I would really like to see serious checking. I am not exactly in favor of everybody resigning, because there might be some good career people there who, if they resign, they put their lives into it, their families, and then all of a sudden you are asked to resign, not through your fault. I'm not so sure that is right. But it's easy to point out anyway who are responsible for all this mess. So, wag naman lahat.
Okay. All right. On another front, sir, there's the U.S. tariffs, the 19% U.S. tariffs. It's interesting because the Philippines started, lower than everybody else. And all of a sudden, here we are. We're almost at par. Things are very difficult. 15% of Philippine exports go to the United States. Half of that are electronics. Right now, electronics is still suspended, but that 100% tariff looms. How are exporters adjusting to these higher tariffs, sir?
Well, it's so sad, Karen, that we started with 17%. Everybody higher than us in our area, and then as of August 10, we are 19%. Everybody else went down to our level, no? And the other one who was raised was Bangladesh by 1%. We were raised by 2%. Every others went down. So I see there's something wrong with the way we're dealing with this, no? We are banking on the fact that we are a close ally of the U.S. No? But I think we are a close ally to the past administration, to the agencies that we deal with, the military perhaps, USAID, CIA, whatever. But unfortunately, President Trump doesn't care about that.
It doesn't seem to hold water for him.
He even wants to charge for services rendered Taiwan.
Sir, should the 100% tariffs on our electronics, our semiconductors take effect, what will that do to the
That
industry?
will kill our industry because there will be advantage with South Korea, Japan, and Taiwan. And they are our competitors in this area.
And there's nothing that we can do to revive it once that hits, sir?
Well, we are still banking on the fact that we're allies, but actually it doesn't count to the things that matter to the past administration doesn't matter to
Sir,
Mr. Trump.
a lot of the exporters, you're the president of PhilExport, a lot of the exporters are small and medium enterprises. That said, would they be small and nimble enough? How long would it take them to pivot to other markets?
Well, as you say, while our export to the U.S. is only 15%, half of which is electronics, the electronic industry will know how to take care of itself. Many of them are American companies anyway. They might move back to other areas. But the other ones are the garments,
very labor-intensive exports,
coconut products. They're labor-intensive, and they have to find other products, other markets. But that is where we go back to what is necessary. Export needs support.
Yeah.
If we have to develop new market, we have to fund the postings, we have to fund research, we have to fund exhibitions outside of this, and there's no money.
Yeah. Speaking of, but there's some support. The BSP has cut interest rates to 5%. We're in the middle of that easing cycle. BMI unit of Fitch Solutions, we just had it in the news today. It looks like the easing cycle of the BSP is seen to continue through to 2026. Are exporters, are employers feeling easier access to credit in light of this, sir?
Well, the bigger ones, yes. But again, I go back to the fact that most of our people depending on that are SME, 90% are micro. And many of the exporters are small ones. They will not be bankable, even in those areas. So what we need is development of an alternative help for them. Like, for instance, the Department of Trade has the SB Corporation. We are hoping that while we are giving away money as dole out, that we can invest in the SB Corporation so that they can come up with packages that is not dole out. You might be repaid 97 or 91%.
In the meantime,
but
sir, are
maybe
you feeling
50%.
shrinking orders from the United States? Are you feeling reduced amounts of orders?
Oh yes. In April, when this first came out, we surveyed the exporters. 90% says business as usual.
Yeah.
The 10% said their buyers are sort of.
In the first half, okay pa kayo, especially as many front-loaded a lot of the work in anticipation for this change in this tariff regime. How are things looking for this second half, sir? And as we enter 2026?
Well, obviously, with the coming of the August effectivity of the tariffs, everybody is lower or the same as us. Medyo mahirap na. So we are expecting siguro about 2 billion loss already for
2 billion losses this
our
second
export
half for
in the second half.
exporters. Okay. In percentage terms, how much of a drop is that, sir, para maintindihan natin?
Well, I'm not sure of the numbers yet, but our target of $110 billion probably will not be met because of this.
Okay, well, it's sorry to hear that, sir. But on another front, there is maybe perhaps some opportunity. The government is eyeing to raise around 200 billion pesos through a pipeline of state assets, selling state assets in 2026. Are investors scared, locally and foreign? Are they scared to do deals in this environment with the government, especially given the corruption, just given the environment right now? How would you say the temperature is on the ground when it comes to how this might be received?
Well, if this sale is happening in Thailand or Malaysia, siguro overnight, finish yan. But in the Philippines, I think, if I were a local investor, with the issue of cases coming out, with dealing with the government, I will hesitate unless the bidding or the is so transparent that nobody can charge you later on of having a sweetheart deal with the government and even foreign buyers probably will hesitate.
Yeah.
No? So certain hard sell, the others easy because of confidence.
Okay. What can we do now, sir? What, if you could speak to the President Marcos right now, this administration, what needs to be done in order to restore confidence so that, not only for the pipeline of asset sales to be well received, but for a better, for better growth for the country over the next decades?
To me, budgeting is something that is very important. Yung 2026 budget natin, maybe they should start working with in a water na medyo, they look really at where money should go. We know that Constitution provides for instance, which will have the highest. I agree with that. But maybe we should look at really what are the other agencies or other projects that we are not funding, that we should start funding, so that it can be sustainable rather than dole out left and right and not sustainable. Funding is important. And I think the way they will conduct the livestock check now and the cases that will be pursued, people will be watching.
Yeah. Speaking of the lifestyle checks that you mentioned, sir, how far do you think that should go?
Well, I think it should be based on the president should decide how it should be. No? And I think importante na that lifestyle check should not be made political. It's important is they know who should be checked. Let it be done, and let's see that immediately some people are held to account.
Yeah, that's what everybody would like to see immediately, that people are held to account. Thank you so much for your time, sir, for sharing your morning with us and your insights.
Thank you also, and thank you for those who are watching us.
All right.